Honda's sensational move stops Ducati from breaking their unique MotoGP record, leaving Ducati out of the MotoGP record books. Meanwhile, Marc Marquez reveals the sole mistake in a wet French GP race, securing second place in a thrilling flag-to-flag event at Le Mans. Let's delve into these gripping moments and dissect their impact on the MotoGP season. Ducati's dream of becoming the sole holder of the most consecutive wins in MotoGP history came to a dramatic end at Le Mans, where the unlikeliest of heroes rose to the occasion. French rider Johann Zarco, aboard an LCR Honda, pulled off a stunning victory in front of his home crowd. The moment was not only symbolic, a Frenchman winning in France, but deeply emotional, as it halted Ducati's record-breaking march in poetic fashion. Heading into the French Grand Prix, Ducati had already equaled Honda's legendary benchmark of 22 straight wins in the Premier class. That original streak by Honda stretched from the 1997 Malaysian Grand Prix to the 1998 Dutch TT at Assen, an era of dominance that had stood untouched for over 2 decades. Ducati, with its recent wave of talent and technology, looked poised to finally take the crown outright. This incredible run by Ducati was powered by a superstar lineup of riders, the Marquez brothers, Pecco Bagnaia, Jorge Martin, and Enea Bastianini. Each of them contributed victories to the streak, showcasing Ducati's depth, consistency, and engineering excellence. Since Maverick Vinales' win for Aprilia at the 2024 Circuit of the Americas, Ducati had reigned supreme in every race, until Le Mans. Le Mans was supposed to be the coronation. Ducati came in as heavy favorites. The odds tilted overwhelmingly in their favor. But the script flipped. In front of tens of thousands of passionate French fans, Johann Zarco delivered a masterclass on the track. His victory wasn't just a personal triumph. It was a historic upset that reminded everyone of the sport's unpredictable magic. Zarco's win was also a lifeline for Honda, who had been enduring a tough stretch in the Premier class. Their last MotoGP win had come courtesy of Alex Rins at the 2023 Grand Prix of the Americas. With this latest triumph, Honda not only returned to the top step of the podium, but ensured that their cherished record would remain intact, shared but not surpassed. For Ducati, the loss was undoubtedly bitter. They had the speed, the riders, and the momentum. But racing is more than numbers and machines. It's about timing, resilience, and moments that defy logic. Le Mans delivered one of those moments where history paused and the crowd erupted not for the expected, but for the extraordinary. So where were you when Zarco shocked the world? Were you cheering for Ducati's relentless march into the record books, or did you find yourself swept up in the romance of a hometown hero defending Honda's legacy? Tell us what this moment meant to you as a fan. In a rain-drenched and unpredictable French MotoGP race at Le Mans, Marc Marquez secured a solid second-place finish, navigating a maze of changing conditions, strategy shifts, and penalties. Despite the chaotic circumstances, the factory Ducati rider managed to extend his championship lead by 22 points, capitalizing on critical errors made by title contenders Francesco Bagnaia and his brother Alex Marquez, both of whom crashed out. The race began with a dramatic turn, as the initial start was aborted due to all riders selecting wet tires. Under newly implemented regulations designed in response to past controversies, including one involving Marquez at Coda, riders who switched to dry bikes at the end of the warm-up lap were penalized with a double long lap penalty. Marquez, along with several others, made the strategic decision to switch, fully aware of the consequences. Serving the penalty became one of the more delicate moments in Marquez's race. Attempting to follow his brother Alex through the long lap section, he encountered an unexpected obstacle in the form of Firmin Aldiger. Nearly colliding with Aldiger, Marquez was forced to abandon the lap attempt and lost valuable seconds in the process. Despite the mishap, it remained the only notable error in an otherwise meticulously managed performance. Throughout the treacherous conditions, Marquez maintained composure and showed maturity in his race management. Lessons learned from his crash at the Spanish Grand Prix proved valuable, providing him with a mental framework to stay composed and avoid repeating past mistakes. He adopted a measured approach, balancing aggression with caution in an environment that demanded constant adaptability. The opening laps were especially challenging, with inconsistent grip levels and frequent shifts in track wetness, testing every rider's judgment. Navigating the rapidly changing surface demanded acute concentration, as the wet-dry-wet transitions placed immense stress on tire selection, braking points, and throttle control. Marquez remained mentally resilient, interpreting the subtle shifts in grip and adjusting his pace accordingly. As the race progressed, strategic calls continued to define the outcome. Riders who had initially opted for dry setups returned to the pits to switch back to wet bikes as the track conditions worsened. Amid the reshuffling, Johann Zarco, who had started on a wet setup, found himself in prime position. Free from penalties and possessing the correct tire strategy for the prevailing conditions, Zarco took the lead by lap 8. By the time Marquez completed his second long lap penalty and re-entered the race rhythm, he was trailing Zarco by 8 seconds. The deficit, though not insurmountable in drier races, proved too great under the persistent drizzle and ever-changing grip. He evaluated the possibility of closing the gap, but recognized that Zarco was maintaining a steady pace with minimal tire degradation. Rather than risking another crash or overextending in pursuit of a win, Marquez made the calculated choice to hold his position. He monitored the gap between himself and his brother Alex, ensuring second place remained secure. The decision underscored a shift in his racing philosophy. Less about immediate victory, more about championship preservation. The ability to adapt to wet conditions has long been a hallmark of great riders, and this race further cemented Marquez's status as a strategic mastermind. While others faltered, he prioritized long-term goals, using his experience to control risk in a setting where pushing too hard often results in disaster. Zarco, enjoying local support and a rare opportunity to lead, pulled away confidently, eventually crossing the finish line 20 seconds ahead of Marquez. His performance was unchallenged in the final laps, affirming that on that day, he had the superior package and execution. Marquez's decision not to chase Zarco to the limit reflected his broader understanding of championship dynamics. The 20 points earned were invaluable, not just for the standings, but as proof of a mental evolution that prioritizes consistency over raw aggression. While not a victory, the second-place finish marked a turning point in Marquez's 2025 campaign. It was a demonstration of endurance, patience, and tactical intelligence under extreme pressure, showing that a racer doesn't always need to finish first to win big in the long run. If you've ever found yourself adjusting your plans mid-course, at work, in life, or in your own hobbies, how do you balance between pushing forward and knowing when to hold back? This race offers an interesting lens through which to view that balance.
Welcome to GP Talks.
Don't forget to like and subscribe to stay updated
and press the
with
bell
all the latest
icon
action.
for more updates.